Knockout qualifying for our fifth race of the season of the NNSCRA Hersheys Cup Series, the Food City 500 at Bristol Motor Speedway. As you can see, not exactly a big crowd up there in the front straightaway stands, as this is nearly knockout Q. The stands will be packed when we get our actual race going. And first car off is Dallas McIntosh. If you look on the top left of your screen, you'll see the 13 drivers that are qualifying for 3 spots in this week's event at Bristol. Michael Norman in the 3. Joshua Michaels just recently fell outside the top 35 in points after he went for a bit of a wild ride last week at Atlanta. Barrel rolled down the front straightaway. Sean Galligan, we're looking currently at Dallas McIntosh, Tristan Folks, Cody Lamas, Benjamin Miles, Stephen Pollard III, Sam McMillan, Grayson Acavito, who also has just recently fallen down outside the top 35 in points, Seth Cole, John Cittadino in the 72. The Cittadino Ed Motorsports team finally getting their team put together, and they're trying to make their debut in this series. And also Austin Gipe in the 98. Only 5 minutes allowed here, but this is the track where drivers are going to get more of an opportunity to put down a number of laps before the session is over. Dallas McIntosh right now is the fastest on track with a 16.065. Seth Cole, who just came out on track, is now second fastest, 16.224. That just dropped him to third fastest, though, because Austin Gipe and Stephen Pollard III have both laid down faster laps already. There's drivers still sitting on pit road. Miles, Michaels, Sam McMillan, Michael Norman. Tristan Folks also still on pit road as Stephen Pollard III, top of the charts for the 32. Well, he was, and then he just got beaten out by Dallas McIntosh. But these drivers are certainly utilizing the time wisely, getting out on track, running as many laps as possible, greatening their chances of making the race. As Stephen Pollard III just jumped to the top of the charts again at 15.855. Second place would be McIntosh. Third, Seth Cole. You got Gipe there, you got Galligan, and I guess the 72 of Cittadino has finally gotten on track. There he is. He is 6th fastest right now. He would transfer in that slot, but obviously wanting to run a much faster time, get himself a better chance of making the show. Right now he is 4th fastest behind Austin Gipe, Stephen Pollard III, and Dallas McIntosh. Now, Stephen Pollard III made his debut last week. His first start. Gipe's trying to do the same. He has not made a start this entire season, and Cittadino is at the top of the leaderboard with a 15.771. McIntosh would be second. Galligan would be third. And he just lost the spot to Acavito, and now Benjamin Miles jumps up to second. We're not going to know who's going to be in until this session's over, because they're going to be jostling for positions. Right now, Seth Cole is out. Stephen Pollard III is the last one in. Behind Galligan, Acavito, and I might as well not even bother going down the list, because every time I try to, it changes up. Benjamin Miles is now the fastest on track with a 15.744. Right now it would be Stephen Pollard III, last one in. Sam McMillan would be the first one out, currently 8th fastest. Joshua Michaels is in danger of not making the show. I just saw him on the apron there. He's heading to pit road trying to get the car a little bit better. If he can get out there for one more run, I don't know if he'll be able to, though. And Austin Gipe is now the fastest on track, so making a case for himself to make his first Hersheys Cup Series start this season. 15.701. And Grayson Acavito just took the spot away. 15.691 for the U.S. Air Force sponsor number 43. Now it's Acavito, Pollard, Gipe, Galligan, Miles, Cittadino, and Lamas would be the 7 to transfer into the main event. And time is ticking away, and Benjamin Miles just jumped back up to the top of the leaderboard, 15.671. Still the 7 I mentioned. Oh, someone just jumped up there. Tristan Folks just jumped up into the top 7. Cody Lamas just now eliminated. And the session's coming to a close. Session may be over. There's about 10 seconds left. Let's see if anybody makes any last-minute moves into the top 7. Grayson Acavito moving out of people's way. He's second fastest. He'll more than likely make the show. Benjamin Miles looks like he'll be in. Galligan will be in. Along with Tristan Folk, Stephen Power III, Austin Geip will make his first start, and so will John Cittadino, as the session, I believe, is now just about over. And the session is now complete. So there are 7 drivers that will transfer into the main event here at Bristol. Benjamin Miles, Grayson Acavito, Tristan Folk, Stephen Powell III, Austin Geip will make his first start of the season. He finally qualifies for an event. Sean Galligan will be 6th, and 7th, John Cittadino, also making his first start. Very first week that team gets put together, and he's going to make the show at Bristol. Drivers that will fail to make the race: Cody Lama, Sam McMillan, Dallas McIntosh, Michael Norman, Joshua Michaels, first event that he will miss this season, and Seth Cole. So, we know our 7 drivers to transfer. Let's get ready now for the Food City 500, moments away from going green at Bristol. The 5th race of the season heads here to Bristol Motor Speedway for the running of the Food City 500. 75 laps on tap for today's race. As you can see, the stands are packed as everybody is here, ready to see the modern-day Colosseum battle between 42 drivers for today's victory. On the pole position will be Joshua Circuli in the number 27, who a couple of weeks ago was up inside the top 10 in points, has recently fallen out, and looks to maybe get back into the top 10 in points with maybe a victory today. As alongside of him will be Benjamin Miles in the 25. Miles actually had to race his way into today's event in knockout qualifying. Let's go down, take a look at the starting lineup for today's race. There you see Circuli on the pole position with Benjamin Miles. Row 2 will be comprised of last week's winner from Atlanta, Tim Walsh, who moved himself up to 6th in the point standings with that victory, and he'll start off alongside of James Richardson, who's been on a good streak as of late. He's finished well at both Las Vegas and last week at Atlanta, trying to see if he can maybe finish well again today, maybe pick up a victory. Rolling off in the 5th position will be the Quicken Loan Chevrolet of Joshua Lee, and alongside of him will be the FedEx Express Toyota Camry of Rocco Twyman. Making up row 4, it'll be the number 4 of Daniel Bouchard, who has been able to keep himself in the top 35, not really had to worry about qualifying his way in like he had to back at Rockingham, UK. And alongside of him, Trent Dunham, who had a solid outing last week at Atlanta, has moved himself away from 35th in the point standings. So if he can have another good run, he may be able to get himself way away from that point of the standings where he may have to find himself qualifying into the next week's event. And then rounding out the top 5, Tristan Folks in the 17 makes the show after making it in knockout Q, and alongside of him is going to be the number 02 Mountain Dew MDX Chevrolet of Jessica Shelton. Take a look at the rest of your starting lineup as we're moments away from getting the command to fire the engines. You saw right there the number 22 Dodge Dart of JT Bryant. He's your points leader coming into today's race, taking the points lead away from Jake Baskinger last week in Atlanta. Baskinger is now 2nd in points. 3rd in the standings is Mason Powers. 4th in points, Kian Eddington.
Start your engine.
As command is given. As I said, Kian Eddington is 4th in points. 5th in the standings is the 19, who's starting way back here in the final row of Cooper Cyron, so he's got quite a task on his hands here today. 6th in points, Tim Walsh, as mentioned. Pichu London is now 7th in the standings. 8th place in points is going to be Austin LaPlante. Carson Scott is 9th in points, completing the top 10 in the standings is Mason Powers. Now, out of our 4 winners so far this season, 3 of them are in the top 10. The only one not outside the top 10 that would be in wildcard spot number 1 right now is our Daytona 500 winner, Ryan Acosta. He's 16th in points. Only 5 points, though, from getting inside the top 10 in the standings. So we'll see how the 78 does today. As we're ready to go, Joshua Circuli, Benjamin Miles, get us green flag racing here at Bristol. Circuli gets away very quickly. The battle is on for 2nd place. Tim Walsh to the inside of Benjamin Miles, and whoa, Joshua Lee got way down there on the inside of the racetrack. That's going to lose him some ground. Outside line gets a good run around this racetrack, but Tim Walsh gets the inside line ringed up. He'll take the 2nd spot now. Benjamin Miles now slipping back into the clutches of James Richardson for 3rd. Joshua Lee was able to recover after he had to bail out of the throttle, getting way down low on the racetrack. He had 2 tires actually down on the black surface of the apron. But he's been able to recover, and he's got Rocco Twyman on his back bumper trying to hound him for that position. Looks like at this point, basically everybody was able to settle it out into almost single file formation, which means we may settle into a long green flag run, which is very unusual here for a NSCRA event at Bristol. Usually they're considered wreckfests, but not at this particular moment in time. And if this thing does go into a long green flag run, then 2 factors could come into play into who's going to win this race. One would be drivers that are on the tail end of the lead lap, and I think one of them's actually just up ahead. That's the 19 of Cooper Cyron. He's actually a long ways back. Something's going wrong with the 19 machine. Is he on the lead? Did he make a pit stop? He's already a lap down, so he must have had to have made some kind of an unscheduled stop, did the 19 Stanley Tools Toyota. And that's not good, because Cooper came into this race 5th in points. And he's already a lap down to the leaders, and maybe going to go 2 laps down if they can reel him in. So, like I said, 2 factors could come into play. One would be drivers on the tail end of the lead lap or lap traffic. As you can see, Cooper Cyron could be a factor momentarily. The second thing is, these drivers more than likely are going to have to make green flag pit stops. And this is a racetrack where you have to come to the entrance of pit road, make your way all the way around the pit road, and then come out the exit. The pit entrance is in, I believe, turn 4, right there. And the pit exit is coming out of turn 3. So these drivers are going to have to contend with pit road just as much as they're going to have to contend with each other if this thing does indeed go into a long green flag run, as Tim Walsh had Benjamin Miles on his back bumper for 3rd place, but now has recently shaken him off and now begins to try and reel in the 27 of Circuli. If Tim Walsh could pick up his 2nd win of the season in back-to-back weeks, here tonight at Bristol, or here today at Bristol I should say, as it's mid-afternoon, he would more than likely lock himself up a spot in the chase already, just as long as he can stay inside the top 30 in points, because that'd be 2 victories. If he stays in the top 10 in points, he gets in via top 10 in points, but if he falls outside the top 10 in points, he'd be the first driver with 2 victories, and that would put him right in line for the transfer spot in wildcard spot number 1. Cooper Cyron's actually reeling in these drivers, however, they would not be for a position. These drivers are on the tail end of the lead lap. Cooper Cyron's already a lap down, but he's got Mason Wood back here along with Noah Cars in the 42. And Tim Walsh is reeling in Joshua Circuli, and if these drivers catch up to the 19, 42, 14, Tim Walsh might be able to make a move on Circuli. Remember last week in Atlanta, it was a slower lap machine, Ryan Madden, that he used to get around JT Bryant for the victory. He could utilize that same technique here at Bristol. And wow, we got some fighting going on here at the tail end of the field. That's Mason Wood and Mason Powers. That is the 44 3rd in points, the 14 10th in points, who are mired way back here in traffic and are just barely on the tail end of the lead lap, and the leaders are about to reel them in. Tim Walsh all over the back bumper of Joshua Circuli, and now Benjamin Miles has been able to reel in the top 2. He's bringing James Richardson and Joshua Lee along with him. Things settle out to single file at the tail end of the field. And now the drivers that are up here at the front are about to merge, and this is typical Bristol, where every piece of racetrack is covered by at least one race car. I wish we had a far out camera that we'd be able to show you just exactly what this looks like. I don't know about the camera angles of this track, if pit road, if they have anything like that. Let's see. See if we can luck out. No, pit lane 2 does not give us anything. Pit lane 1 gives us nothing. Spectator view, nothing there. I don't think we're going to get anything. Helicopter view, not much help either. So unfortunately, we're not going to be able to show you just exactly what it looks like from an aerial view with these drivers all nose to tail, the rear of the field caught by the front of the field. But it's like a long conveyor belt. Right now, Circuli, he's got Tim Walsh on his back bumper, but Circuli, the longer he steps out in front, the longer he's going to have the opportunity of getting that extra bonus point for leading the most laps. He's been the only one to lead so far, and keep in mind, pit stops could come into play. Let's go back through the top 10 here. There you got Tim Walsh running right there in second place. It's a good run for Benjamin Miles, who had to qualify his way into this race in knockout Q earlier today. He's right now running in third position, so this could move him up back inside the top 35 in points if he can maintain it there. James Richardson, another solid outing for that 6 machine. Ever since he qualified for the race at Las Vegas, he has just been on an amazing streak of top 5s and top 10s. Joshua Lee runs in the 5th spot. Rocco Twyman there in 6th. Trent Dunham, another great run for him. He ran well last week at Atlanta, running well here in 7th. 8th place, that's where you find Daniel Bouchard. 9th place is Jessica Shelton. Completing your top 10 is Tristan Folks. And there is your points leader coming in this race, JT Bryant, running solidly in the 11th position. And I think we may have a battle for the lead. I saw Tim Walsh peeking, and apparently he's lost a little bit of touch with the leader, Joshua Circuli, who now has to deal with the 42 of Noah Kars. 41st on track, just on the tail end of the lead lap, is Noah Kars. Right now, Chevrolet holds 4 of the top 5 positions. The only Ford is James Richardson. How about we document where some of our other drivers in the top 10 in points are running? We know that JT Bryant is currently running in the 11th position. He's the points leader coming in. Cooper Cyron, Mason Wood, Mason Powers, they're running into some problems here early in this race. There you see the 19, 1 lap down, the 44 and 40th place, and the 14 and 39th. So they're struggling. How about Jake Baskinger, second in the points? Where is he running? He's not running much better. Right now, 37th place is where he is scored. The K-Love Ford. That is not a good run for him. How about the 33 of Kian Eddington, who's been real quiet this season, but worked his way now up to 4th in points. Right now running pretty well in the 17th position, and may be able to utilize something here in pit strategy to get further up closer to the front of the field. We know Tim Walsh is running 2nd on the racetrack and comes in 6th in points. How about 7th in points? Pichu London in the 21. He's running in the 14th position right now. Solid run for the driver out of Wood Brothers Racing. Austin LaPlante, his teammate Tim Walsh went to victory lane last week, but LaPlante's having a good season as well. Runs 8th in the points days, right now is 30th on track in the Branch Chevrolet. And 9th in points. How about the 38 of Carson Scott out of AS Racing? Right now he's running in the 32nd position, trying to reel in LaPlante and Charles Sanford. One driver I saw is having a pretty decent run, making his debut in this race. That is John Cittadino in the 72. Now working to the outside line of the 78 of Ryan Acosta. That would be for the 19th position. He's holding Gluba there in the 55. Gluba running 21st, and Gluba, the last time an SRA event was held here at Bristol was the NRSL TJF's Fatal 4-Way Truck Series, in which Gluba took the victory. And Gluba right now running 21st, and whoa, goes a little wide in that corner, slips up. Anthony McCurr gets to the inside, bringing Dylan Poteet along with him. Another driver making his debut here today is Austin Geit in the 29th position in the 98 machine. And right now trying to work on reeling in Daniel Voiles and Kyle Matthews, Emmanuel Hartnett. Voiles and Matthews actually are 2 that worked their way into the top 35 in points last week with good runs. Whoa, Hartnett got a little squirrely through that corner. Is still out in front is Joshua Circuli, but we got a new 2nd place driver. Benjamin Miles has been able to move to 2nd place in the 25. Richardson now up to 3rd, and Walsh slipped all the way back to the 4th position. 5th place under contest, Daniel Bouchard worked his way around Rocco Twyman and Trent Dunham. He's now all over the back bumper of Joshua Lee. As a matter of fact, I think Trent Dunham might be on pit road. No, he's not. He's just losing a lot of spots. He lost 1 to Folks, he lost 1 to Shelton. He's now being bypassed by JT Bryant. Here comes Jeremy Jones to the inside, Pichu Lennon, and Leon Alvarez would be the next one to fill in that hole, as Trent's beginning to start to free fall here through the field. Apparently that outside line has good grip coming off, but not going into the corner. 40 laps completed, 35 to go, and Benjamin Miles looking to the inside line. Can he get the run off the corner? Not quite. He almost did. He tried. And they got the slower machine of Cooper Siron to deal with it. Here comes Miles, looking again to the inside line. And Circuli will lose the lead. Benjamin Miles to the lead. Richardson now to the inside for second. And Circuli will hang on as Richardson got a little loose going into that corner. And he almost got run over by Tim Walsh. Walsh now actually moves by for the third position. Richardson now back to fourth. And here comes Joshua Lee, who had the move made on him by Daniel Bouchard for the fifth position, does the crossover, and now he'll take the spot back. Good battle there for that fifth spot, and Benjamin Miles taking the turn out in front. Now we'll have to see how Circuli does trying to reel in a driver rather than being reeled in. Benjamin Miles kind of used the 19 of Cooper Siron just ahead as a bit of a pick to get by the 27. The 27 is coming to pit road. So the cycle of pit stops begin with about 30 laps remaining. Daniel Bouchard's in as well, Rocco Twyman, Jeremy Jones, Tristan Folks, Dylan Young. Who else there in that group? Looks like Kian Eddington's in. Levi McIntyre, John Cittadino. So now when does Benjamin Miles come to pit road? Whoa! He nearly slid up into Cooper Siron, but he'll put Siron another lap down. And now here comes Benjamin Miles. Tim Walsh coming in as well. How about the 6 of Richardson? Is he coming in? He is. He's already in. As is the 5 of Joshua Lee. So now we got to go to pit lane 1 camera, I believe. And Circuli's down off pit road. Bouchard comes out. Jeremy Jones comes out. And actually we got to go to pit lane 2. I think. I'm not certain. I think this is the 1 off 3, so this would be actually for coming off of pit road. So let's find... Oh, I guess the... Okay, well, I'm wrong. Apparently, the drivers that come off of the exit of turn 2 can merge back on the track, and that's what they're doing. I thought they had to come all the way around, but apparently not. So let's find out where Benjamin Miles is. Did he come out ahead of Circuli, or did Circuli get it done off pit road? Here comes Miles off, and Circuli's already gone by. There's the 27 already by, and that would be for the lead, I'm pretty sure. Unless somebody else had some kind of pit strategy worked out for him. Circuli's going to have quite an advantage, and there he is. He's now scored as the leader. Benjamin Miles back in second. And lap traffic now becomes a factor. Ryan Madden now a lap down in the 26th position. Baskinger's a lap down, 27th. There's Benjamin Miles. He's in second place. Third place, a long ways back. There he is, Tim Walsh. Daniel Bouchard right now runs in the 4th position. 5th place is Joshua Lee. 6th place, Jeremy Jones. Jessica Shelton right now 7th as Dylan Young's on pit road. There's 8th place, Pichu London. Actually make that 9th place as Kian Eddington actually just made the pass for the 8th position. So push London back to 9th. 10th place is Rocco Twyman. 11th place, I believe now, would be Leon Alvarez. That's indeed the case. 12th place, Ryan Acosta. Richardson's all the way back to 13th. Just took that spot from Tristan Folks, who's back to 14th. 15th, Trent Dunham. 16th is Chris Dowd. 17th place is Emmanuel Hartnett. 18th, Holden Gluba. 19th, John Cittadino. JT Bryant all the way back to 20th. 21st place. Oops. That's the pace car. Let's jump to the car, which I'm pretty sure it is. Anthony McCurry. That's indeed the case. He's 21st. 22nd, Daniel Voiles. 23rd, John Arndt. 24th, Levi McIntyre. 25th place, Austin LaPlante. And he's the last car on the lead lap. Everybody else is a lap down from 26th on back. Ryan Madden, Jake Baskinger, Carson Scott, Kyle Matthews, Dylan Poteet, William Brock, Noah Kars, Grayson Acavito, Blaine Keys, Mason Power, Stephen Pollard III, Mason Wood, Sean Galligan, Charles Sanford's 2 laps down in the 39th spot. Cooper Siron also 2 laps down in 40th. Austin Gipes 2 laps down in 41st. And Dylan Young is 5 laps down in the 42nd position. Something must have happened to the 2 car. I'm not certain what, and unfortunately, since we're not under caution, we're not able to really go back and look at a replay right now. So hardship there for Dylan Young as Joshua Circuli continues to try and lead the way around here. He's trying to put Sean Galligan down another lap. Not going to be successful. Benjamin Miles, there he is. He's got 2 lap machines between himself and Circuli. Jake Baskinger and Ryan Madden. He's also got the lap machine of Carson Scott on his back bumper. So Circuli, that time the lead was cut down just a bit. About maybe 2/10, I think it was. About a 1.2 second lead Circuli enjoys over Benjamin Miles. And let's see if Miles can cut it down this time a little bit more. Last time 1.2, this time almost just about a second. So either Benjamin Miles is reeling in Circuli, or Circuli is laying back a little bit, knowing there are 2 machines between himself and Benjamin Miles. That time by, he opened about a 1/10 of a second between himself and Benjamin Miles. And Miles has been able to shake Carson Scott off of his back bumper, so now he can focus on the task ahead, and that's trying to get around both Jake Baskinger and Ryan Madden before he can even think about trying to reel in Joshua Circuli, and he's got to do that all in a little less than 15 laps. And the lap times are ticking away very quickly here at Bristol. At the line, there are 13 laps to go. The lead was cut down a little bit that time, cut down by about 2/10 by Benjamin Miles. What he needs is for Circuli to get caught up with some lap traffic, but Circuli right now has clean racetrack both ahead in Sean Galligan and behind in Ryan Madden. And Miles is not only going to have to try and get around the 88 and the 95, but he's got to get around 2 strong machines. Those 2 cars are not off the pace. They are still up to speed, damage-free, just ended up getting caught a lap down after the cycle of pit stops. So Benjamin Miles is not going up against 2 disabled machines. He's going up against 2 machines that are just as strong as his Napa Chevrolet. I'm not certain if Benjamin Miles might be wise to just throw in the towel, accept the second position, basically because he's got a big picture race right now in knowing that a second position would more than likely move him into the top 35 in points and guarantee him a spot in next week's starting grid. Oh, but they're getting racy up ahead of Circuli, so maybe it's not time to give up just yet. Circuli now will try and put a 3rd car between himself and Benjamin Miles and put Sean Galligan now 2 laps down. Oh, this ain't over though. This may still come down to these lap machines as here comes Benjamin Miles looking to the inside on Jake Baskinger. He'll make the move and the pass, clears the 95. Circuli to the inside of Galligan. Ryan Madden's going to fill the hole. He'll move by Sean Galligan. I think that might actually be for position between the 13 and the 88. And Benjamin Miles hoping this settles quickly so he can make his way by the 13. And now he will go to the inside of Galligan and try and clear the Geico Chevrolet. Next car ahead for Joshua Circuli would be Austin LaPlante. But I'm not certain he'll have to put up much of a fight with the 51. Let's see though. 5 laps to go. And Galligan got back around Benjamin Miles. So Miles has 2 lap machines between himself and Joshua Circuli. Circuli's just got to hit his marks now and stay out of trouble. 4 laps to go here at Bristol. Joshua Circuli lost the lead early on to Benjamin Miles, but his team gained him back that position he lost on track on pit road. Circuli came off pit road after the cycle of pit stops as the leader. He has not looked back since. This time, down the back straightaway, about 2.5 laps to go. At the line, 2 laps to go remaining for the 27. Circuli, who started the season off really strong, hit a couple of bumps in the last couple of weeks, and now looks like he'll be back on the road to recovery. This time by, the white flag will be displayed over the Moen Menards number 27 Chevrolet out of Richard Childress Racing. 4 more corners. 2 lap machines between himself and Benjamin Miles. About maybe 3 car lengths between himself and the next car on the tail of the lead lap, Austin LaPlante. No challenge. It's going to be Joshua Circuli going coast to coast, pole to win as he takes the checkered flag in the Food City 500. What a dominant outing by that 27 team. Undoubtedly led the most laps today, led the first third of the race, and the last third of the race. Benjamin Miles, the only one who was able to make any kind of a challenge on the 27, but his team was not able to rise to the occasion during the cycle of green flag pit stops. But he'll get a solid second place run, and that will more than likely move him into the top 35 in points. Tim Walsh, 1 week after he goes to victory lane, a solid run of third place here tonight. Daniel Bouchard, another great run for the Ford team. Ever since he qualified his way in to his first start at Rockingham, he has been on fire with consistent finishes. Jeremy Jones, finishes 5th place. Great run for him. Jessica Shelton, 6th. Joshua Lee, Kian Eddington, who came in this race 4th in points. Another solid outing. He's been just the quiet guy. We should call him the dark horse because you just don't see him until the end. And he's worked his way up into the top 5 in points in just a matter of 4 races now. He'll stay in the top 5 after this race. Rocco Twyman gets 9th, and Pete London, another driver who's been real quiet at the beginning of the season, has moved himself in the top 10 in points, came in 7th in the standings coming into tonight's race, and he'll get a top 10 finish. There's the rest of your finishing results. Ryan Acosta, another great run for the 78. This may move him back into the top 10 in points, which means maybe all of our winners so far this season, our 5 winners, will be all inside the top 10 in points. JT Bryant, points leader coming into this race, gets an 18th place finish here tonight. It'll be interesting to see where that situates him according to everybody else in the points, whether he'll hang on to it or not. I think he had a 38-point advantage over Jake Basker coming into this race, so more than likely he'll still keep the points lead. How about John Cittadino? Great run in his debut, 22nd place for him. We only had a total of 25 cars finish on the lead lap. And you look further down, not a great run for Austin Gipe in his debut, 41st. And Dylan Young finishes 5 laps down in the 42nd position. So something must have happened, I'm guessing probably on pit road, to the driver of the Worth Dodge Dart, but not really certain. But everybody apparently finished the race. Some drivers are listed as retired. That's because they came to their pit stall before Joshua Circuli did, so it scores them as retired. But everybody finished the race. And we had no caution flags for that full 75 laps. But it was action-packed for sure. Thank you all so much for watching. If you enjoyed today's race, be sure to give this video a like, subscribe, become part of the crew today. Joshua Circuli becomes the 5th different race winner in 5 races so far this season. So, the chase, it's definitely getting awfully interesting, and it definitely will get interesting on the home stretch. But Joshua Circuli is your winner of the Food City 500 here at Bristol Motor Speedway, as you've been watching a production of the NNSCRA Offline Racing at its best. See you guys next week.